Hello everyone, Coach Carol here. This time 10 tips for Toastmasters. These tips are specifically for the executive teams in helping their members achieve Pathways success. There are 7 members on your executive team, from the president through to the sergeant-at-arms, and each one of you have a task to do to help your members with their pathways. Don't leave it all to the VP of Education. Each one of you can help. In this training session, I'm going to share with you my 10 tips for executives to help their members with pathways. Let me share my screen with you. I'm focusing on how you lead your club members to Pathways success. And these are my 10 tips for you today. The first one is, you guessed it, communicate with your club members. You'll need to know what their goals are, where they want to be at the end of a period of time, what skills they want to develop, and what speeches they wish to deliver. Your communication with them will take many forms, often face-to-face at the meeting during the breaks, or when you are not at the meeting, use a simple phone call. Find out where they want to go with their Pathways projects. Does it fit with their work style? Is it something they need for personal development? Know what your members want and communicate with them frequently. This will help, especially if you're their mentor. Each of the executive team needs to be proficient with pathways. There are a number of things that you'll need to know how to do, because you will be, among others, the go-to person for your club members as they work through their paths. Some will be at the beginning, and you'll need to help them with simple things like how to find base camp, how to get into their transcripts, and how to activate and launch their projects. So navigating through Basecamp is something that you'll need to know how to do. As members progress, they will need even more information about how they navigate in Basecamp. They'll need to know where to get their resources, such as evaluations, and where to download or view videos. All of these questions might come to you, so you need to know how to navigate in Pathways. It's much easier over there now. It's smoother. The transition has been made to a much smoother navigation system. And once you learn it, it becomes so much easier for you to help others. This one I recommend for you to do as an executive team member. When you've finished level 2 in your path, do the Pathways mentoring program. It's separate to your path and includes a number of activities that will help you become a better mentor. I finished mine back in 2018, and it taught me many things about the process and the best practices for mentoring Toastmasters in Pathways over a period of time. In the path itself that you do, you have an introduction to mentoring in level 2. However, this Pathways mentoring program takes you much further along the track, and you are given a project that you can really get your teeth into, so to speak, and develop your skills as a mentor over a period of time. The next tip for you is how to assist your members in requesting their speeches. You've done the hard yards by now. You've taught them and shown them how to use Basecamp. You've been navigating with them and giving them tips along the way. They should know now how to get in to their class and find the assignment and work through the requirements of the assignment. For example, let them know that in most assignments there will be a project checklist, and to download that, perhaps printing it for use offline or sharing and showing on a screen online. The project checklist will show them the things that they need to do. And if they know the process on how to get those checklists, it increases their confidence to work on their own. By the time they know the requirements, it's time for them to plan ahead and request a speech. Most of the projects in the program require them to complete a 5 to 7 minute speech. Now, in some clubs where you have smaller numbers, then it's much easier to get a speaking spot at a meeting. In large clubs, the competition will be much fiercer. So you'll need to help each individual member to plan ahead and request their speeches in such a way that it becomes a fair and equitable distribution so that everyone has a chance to complete their projects with their speeches. Step 5 is where you assist the members in completing their projects. Now, there are several steps to be reached to get to this point. They need to have navigated to their class, read through what their requirements are, planned, prepared, and delivered a speech. They then need to come back into their transcript, go to their project, go to the end screen, and complete and assess your skills after survey. Just a few questions in that are required, and the member is really assessing their skills at the end of the project compared to the beginning of the project. Now, that's an important technology step that they need to take because it's a trigger. It actually enables them to see their progress changing in their project and their levels. You'll see a small percentage sign changing each time a project has been completed. When they're completing their projects, they need to know what comes next. And you can see in these 3 examples how the person in this case has achieved 100% in each of levels 3, 4, and 5. And at the end of that process, there is an option to view their certificate. So you'll need to help them with that as well. At this point, when they've completed their project, then the communication starts again. They need to communicate with you, specifically the Basecamp managers, that their project has been completed. And by the time they get to the end of a level, then it's even more important that they let you know that a level has been completed. Once that has been done, it's the job of the Basecamp managers to verify the level and path completions. So that's the president, VP of Education, and the secretary. These are the 3 people designated as Basecamp managers. They will go to Basecamp as a manager, and they'll be able to see the paths in progress for their club members, as you can see on that first little chart. They can also see individual records for each member. So verifying the level and path completions will require the Basecamp manager to also click the verification process to trigger that has been completed, because the system doesn't know until that completion has been verified. The next step, and this can be done by any executive team member, you don't have to be a Basecamp manager. The next step is to add the data to Club Central. And for that, you go to toastmasters.org, log in, of course, go to Leadership Central, and then Club Central. And as you can see here, the next thing to do is select the member's name and then select the award for which you are applying on their behalf. So verification and notifications are all part of tip 6. The next tip for you is one that I recommend. It's great to see the progress of every member. So if you can display that for the whole club, then everyone knows how everyone else is going. There are a number of ways you can do this. Could be just verbal, and you could do that at a business segment of your meeting. Or you could display a chart like this one on the wall or just holding it up. This one is purchased from the Toastmasters shop. I think it is around $3.50. It's a large A3 page, and you can add the names of your club members and their achievements in each level across the chart over a period of time. There are other ways that you can display path progress, and I'll show you those in another tip in a moment. But think about that one as a way of displaying to your members how well they are going. Now for the club itself. It's a great idea for every executive team member to be familiar with the process of accessing the dashboard data. What is the dashboard data? This is the record that Toastmasters International keeps for every club across the globe. You select your district, and you can drill down then to see the results for division and area and for the club, as you can see here. It shows you the club goals, and there are 10 of those. And on the right-hand side, how many of those you need in order to be a distinguished, select distinguished, or a president's distinguished club. On the left, you'll see that the first 6 of these are to do with pathways. 4 level 1s, 2 level 2s, 2 more level 2s, 2 level 3s, 1 level 4 or 5 or DTM, and 1 more level 4, 5 or DTM award. As your club gains those awards, as individuals gain each of those, and you submit your data to Club Central, it then shows up here on the dashboard. And being able to show your members how that dashboard looks from time to time is a really great incentive for them to work hard at completing a level, knowing that it will do the club some good. Everyone wants to be a distinguished club, and it would be great to have many of your club members completing levels and paths. Of course, you will also need to attend to the middle group there, the 4 new members, 4 more new members, 4 officers trained, and all dues renewal done. So it's not just pathways that gives you your distinguished status, but a large percentage of it is. So do go and check the data on the dashboard and display it at your next meeting. Let everyone know this is information that they may not have ever seen before. Finally, here's that other way that I mentioned before of sharing your club management records. You could use this new spreadsheet developed by Simon Cornwell in District 69. It's a spreadsheet, a dynamic spreadsheet, into which you can add the names of the members on the left-hand column and then select from the drop-down lists for the path they're on, the level they're on, and which is their current project. And you'll know that, of course, won't you? Because you have been communicating with your members and you have all that information. If there is a member who is doing more than one path at a time, simply add another row for them. It's a great little tool and one that dynamically updates as you put in the data. So once again, you could share that at a business segment of your meeting or send it to your club members. It's a great incentive. Finally, when you have many members completing levels and paths, it's time to celebrate. There are a number of ways you can do this in your club, and I'm sure you've got your favorites. But here's a couple of suggestions from me. You could purchase one of those badges seen here from Toastmasters International Shop. I think they're around $5. Not absolutely sure on that, but not a very large expense. You could then, as a Basecamp manager, go in to the feedback segment and give badges. This is a lesser used feature of Basecamp and one that might be just the right thing to inspire your member. What you're seeing here is a set of 6 badges that you can award and give some feedback on the achievement for your member. You can have anything from inspirational right through to adaptable. Writing on that is very small. That is an example of the inspirational badge that I've placed above the chart. So have a look in Basecamp as a manager and go to the feedback section for that. And finally, you might want to paste and post your achievement for that club member onto your Facebook group. You do have a Facebook group, do you? Or some other social media where you are informing everyone of the great things that are happening at your club. So there we have it. 10 tips for your executive to really support and help your members achieve success in pathways.